So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and.
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
Like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man.
Okay.
Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smizing.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your Thursday. You know what? We got one more day until it's the weekend, so let me hear you say hell yeah to the weekend. I hope you guys are all doing well. It is Thursday. Hopefully you're having a thriving one. Make it a fantastic one. Do something dope today, okay? Do something really, really amazing. But first off, I want to say a quick apology to everyone, because I wasn't able to do a show last night, but you saw a little bit of where I was. I was enjoying a little bit of the Cinco de Mayo type of vibes. I was hanging out with my sister. We got to listen to some live music outside. We enjoyed the wonderful weather that we had in our city, and just got a chance to just chill. You know what I mean? Jasmine's saying, where's your sexy shirt today? No sexy shirt today, just regular old me today. But, you know, I'm sure tomorrow or tonight's show, maybe I'll do something a little shum. Okay? But I most definitely needed some time to just hang out with my family. I don't get to do that stuff very often. I'm always in here working. So it was nice to just get out and just hang out, listen to some music, have a cocktail, hang out with my fam. You know what I'm saying? Which was much, much needed. But anyway, my brother David's in the house. What's going on, bruh?
Yeah, man, not much. Good day here to hello to everyone in chat. I'm pretty excited about some of the things we have to talk about. Well, I don't know if excited is the right word, but we have some interesting things to talk about today.
Yeah.
And it's sadly things we've kind of talked about before, but they're back again.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna be real. One of the stories is not so great. It's one of our main stories for the day. I'm not looking forward to talking about this. You know, I definitely feel some type of way about this particular scenario, this particular story, and all that. We had quite a debate about this one in the past on the show, so you know we're definitely going to have to jump into this. Unfortunately, David has to jump off early, so we're going to have to jump right into the stories. Well, man, first off, before we go into anything, because I know some people are going to feel some type of way once we get into this story. So before we go into that, hit that like button. Send those positive vibes all the way up. Get those likes all the way up. See what I did there real quick? I'm like, you know what? Before you start hitting that dislike, hit that like button. Get the likes all the way up, because I know some people are going to be very unhappy about this story. As you see in our top story of the day, Garrett Rolfe, the cop that was the one that shot and killed Rashard Brooks in Atlanta, has been reinstated, y'all. He will be back in active duty very soon. Now, we're going to do a quick recap of this whole situation, just in case you don't know who Garrett Rolfe is or who Rashard Brooks is, okay? So, real quick, I'm going to give you a quick scenario, a quick synopsis, okay? And I also want to show you this tiny photo. It might jog some of y'all's memory, okay? Rashard Brooks was in his car asleep, okay? He was in his car asleep in a drive-thru, at a Wendy's drive-thru, okay? The cops pulled up because he had fallen asleep in the drive-thru, and I know some people who have done that before, okay? They said, hey, man, pull over to the side, all right? If you're going to take a nap, if you're tired, pull over to the side, okay? Go park somewhere. So, obviously, I'm going to be wrapping this up pretty quickly. Very, very, very brief synopsis. But he pulls over to the side. He does exactly that. The cops weren't done with him yet. They said, he's pulled off to the side, but he's still parked weird. Okay, so they go up to him, knock on the door. Of course, he's still asleep. Finally, they get him awake. He gets out, and they start doing a sobriety test on him. Okay, he blows, only to find out that he is definitely over the limit of alcohol in his system. They proceed to arrest him. All right, they proceed to arrest him. It turns into a full-on scuffle. He gets his hand on a taser. He starts running down. Mind you, there are people, bystanders in the drive-thru, still waiting to get their meals, right? Watching as this guy runs. He's running away from the cops. He turns around, points the taser that he has in his hand at Officer Garrett Rolfe. Garrett Rolfe fires his gun, killing Rashard Brooks. Okay? So, this thing went crazy. Everybody and their mama seen this video. Everyone's talked about this. So much that, of course, after the wake of everything that was going on during that time with George Floyd, etc. So, of course, what happens? Atlanta goes up in flames. Especially that Wendy's. That Wendy's went up in flames with the quickness. Okay? Now, Conservative Republic right now saying justified shooting. This is a very polarizing conversation. There are some people out here that say that it's a justified shooting. There are some people out here that say that it's not a justified shooting. So there's a lot of people right now that are going to be very upset when I say these words. All right? Garrett Rolfe, the former Atlanta police officer charged in the fatal shooting of Rashard Brooks, by the way, literally was being charged. All right? This is a man who's been charged for, if I'm correct, murder. All right? Has been reinstated. I just want to point that out. Okay? Reinstated. This man has been charged for the killing of Rashard Brooks, is now reinstated. I just want to point that out. Say that one more time. Okay? So, charged in the fatal shooting of Rashard Brooks in a Wendy's parking lot, was wrongfully terminated. All right. That's what the Atlanta Civil Service Board has ruled. All right. So Rolfe's attorney, it's hard to say Rolfe. I don't know why. We are very excited. This is what the attorney said. We are very excited that the Civil Board says that due process matters. All right. The Atlanta Police Department in a statement said it is important to note that the CSB did not make a determination as to whether Officer Rolfe violated Atlanta Police Department policies. In light of the CSB's ruling, APD will conduct an assessment to determine if additional investigative actions are needed. So, the APD said, or the Atlanta Police Department said, the decision merely said the firing process was not done in accordance with the Atlanta City Code. Now, I know that David has a little bit in regards to basically the firing process wasn't done properly, wasn't fully done properly. Like they made a few mistakes in it as well. So to continue, and I'm going to throw it over to David on that part. APD said Rolfe will remain on administrative leave until the criminal charges against him are resolved. So let me just say this. He is criminally charged. And they still reinstated that ass. I want to point that out. They just said he will remain on administrative leave. So he will be on paid vacation, basically, until the criminal charges against him are resolved or are dropped. Let's just say that. Okay, David, can you go into a little bit of detail about like what the filing was all about, like what the firing process was? Where did they make a mistake at in there? Because obviously they did something wrong with the filing. So speak on it, bruh.
Yeah, like this issue is purely a technical thing. That's why he got off for the most part. So basically, the problem came from the Atlanta Police Department and their initial filing of the incident, and the way the board filled out the paperwork. But ultimately, what they found was that several pieces of evidence were questions were checked both yes and no. For instance, such as boxes under the section indicating whether the dismissal was an emergency action. So they basically said yes, it's an emergency action, and no, it is not an emergency action, by filling out the same thing twice. So this is pretty much what happened. It's just they filled out the paperwork and it's getting thrown out. The justification from the internal affairs within Atlanta says that this was very rushed. Time was of the essence. Sometimes mistakes happen when you rush.
I'm sorry.
That's the internal affairs.
I'm sorry.
Excuse.
Can you repeat that ridiculousness one more time for me? What did they just say? What did they just say one more time? For the nosebleed seats. What did they say?
Sergeant William Dean, who is an investigator with Atlanta Internal Affairs, said that this was very rushed. Time was of the essence. Sometimes mistakes happen when you rush. So technically, he's the one that should be investigating this, and he's the one that's saying it's okay.
Clearly.
So Atlanta City Code basically says that the subject of a disciplinary action has to have an opportunity to respond before the removal, and this did not happen in the case of Rolf. They also decided that basically that the problem with this is entirely in the paperwork. They are not stating that he is in any way innocent or that he shouldn't be charged. It's just that the initial filing was written with a bunch of errors and mistakes. And so basically it's the equivalent of like a mistrial thing. Like the stuff was filed wrong, and so it's thrown out. However, the investigation will be beginning again, basically, again managed by the Atlanta Police Department. And they're going to figure out if they want to get rid of him again, and this time they will have to fill out the paperwork, right? I kind of think this was intentional because, you know, they checked like both yes and no in these lists of easy things to see. And so I think they kind of intentionally sabotaged the work, but that's just my opinion because that's not the only error. Like the NPR says, it's riddled with errors, misspellings, wrong. So because of that, the board is reinstating him for now. He will be getting back pay because they're considering it an improper removal of him for now. So according to that, he shouldn't have been removed, so he would have been paid, and that's what they're doing. And he's immediately placed back onto administrative leave and is getting paid once more. He hadn't been getting paid since his initial removal, or like a month after the initial removal, he stopped receiving any pay from the police department. So this will ultimately pretty much just get him back into the office. He won't be on the streets. He will be on administrative leave, but he's getting paid again. He's getting a huge drop of money right now.
Huge drop of money, and he doesn't have to. Yeah. He doesn't have to put on a suit. He doesn't have to put on the uniform at all. He could just literally sit back, count his ducats, and be fine, and be protected by his shield, by his boys. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy to me is that how quickly they were to file this whole thing, and how they put it so quickly, because obviously they wanted to. I could see them doing it with the quickness because they wanted to bring some resolution so that Atlanta wouldn't burn to the ground. I could see that being done, but if you're making those kind of errors, I could see that being used against the reasons why not to have him fired, because the paperwork was wrong, or they didn't cross the T's and dot the lowercase J's. You know what I'm saying? But this is just, to me, I think this is just ridiculous. Like I'm kind of flabbergasted about this story because this guy is still being charged. There are still charges against this cop, and he's still got a job right now. I just don't Like, let him be vindicated. Let him be tried among a jury of his peers, found not guilty, then reinstate him. Why reinstate him now when he's still going to go through case after case? Like, he's still going to go through trial. So why are they protecting somebody like that right now? That's something I don't get, personally.
I think part of it is that this is the investigation from the like board in general. This isn't necessarily what the Atlanta Police Department has decided. So basically, what this means for now is that any legal prosecution against them is kind of halted because of the misfiling of the paperwork. However, they have not done their own internal investigation to come to a conclusion on whether he broke not the law, but the mandates within the office. So this is kind of like two separate issues. The one that he's gotten out of for now is the legal repercussions of what he did because of the misfile of the paperwork. However, he will still be going under investigation by the police department to decide if their internal rules and, like, you know, how they're supposed to engage in force and everything. So they still have to investigate that to see if he violated the rules. The document basically shows he did not violate other aspects, I guess, legal aspects, like general legal aspects for everyone. So there's still a possibility he's going to get fired regardless of the criminal aspect, simply because they haven't gone through the administrative process of deciding of the police department deciding if they want to get rid of him. They're still kind of waiting on the legal decision on his general behavior.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Yeah, to me, I think this is wrong. You know, this is the wrong timing. Whether, like I've said a million times before, whether he was in the right for doing what he did, whatever side of the spectrum you are on, I don't think that this translates to the general public as a good thing. This is only going to make the situations worse in Atlanta. People are going to start feeling some type of way about this. The general public. You know what I'm saying? The people that feel that Rashard Brooks was murdered, you know, that was shot and killed unjustifiably, they're going to go to the streets. They're going to act a fool because of this news. And it's not good news at all. It's not. This is it's somebody who is being charged with the murder of somebody, and now that this person is being reinstated. And that's something that doesn't make any sense to me, in my personal opinion. It looks like we lost David here. Dang. We lost David. David, you're back. Or not?
I think I'm back.
Okay, there you are. Man, this internet. It's not me. It's not on my internet. It's got to be over there for sure. I don't know what's going on, bruh. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's one of the stories that we definitely had to talk about, because to me it's beyond me that they're even reinstating this guy, that the fact that they're even entertain the idea of reinstating this guy right now. I mean, I feel like it's a bad move, and it sends the wrong message, I think, to the general public. That's just my personal opinion on that. Now, something completely different, okay? Complete left turn up in this piece, okay? This should be a fun one because Conservative is just said something that I found funny. Sorry, before we go into this next story, he said Atlanta will burn because of ignorant people. They are rioting over a criminal. Okay. Doesn't matter if this guy had a tarnished past or if he had a rap sheet, as long as my body. Still, what happened to this person is still a terrible story. It is still a terrible thing that happened to somebody. The fact that he was shot multiple times in the back is still a sad story. And there's a lot of people out here that are going to feel some type of way. But one thing that really upsets me more than anything in the world is that people out here will go and call him everything under the sun except for being a child of God. And that's what that's what really pisses me off. I feel it's unfair that this person is not on this planet anymore, regardless of the choices that he or Garrett Rolfe made that night. But that person's no longer here. Doesn't matter if this guy was a criminal or if he was intoxicated or whatever. At the end of the day, it is still a human life that is no longer here, and that's wrong. And there are people out here that are going to look at this situation, hear that Officer Rolfe is being reinstated, and they're going to feel some type of way. They're going to feel like their justice, their path towards justice is just been null and void. But what upsets me more than anything in the world is when people will try to take somebody who has just died and they will do everything they can to denounce this person, call him everything under the sun except a child of God, except being a child of God. And that really aggravates me. Suddenly that person now is just a criminal. This person was a human being. This person had a family. This person was a father, a brother, I'm sure, an uncle, whatever you want to call it. This person had a life, and now that person's not here. So instead of us going, oh, it's a criminal, let's look at the person as a human being first. Please. I think if we were, like, if this was my story, and I got killed by the cops, or conservative, if you were shot and killed, to the general public would think that to what the general public would say is unjustified. Once you want people to sit there and say, yeah, he was a human being. Conservative Republic was a human being, not, he got what he deserved. He's a criminal. That's not fair. That's not fair. Like I said, this man's a human first. This man is a child of God first. And I think we should respect that. Moving on to the next story. Yes.
I was going to say that I think it's going to end up being a technical issue that's throwing out the entire process, kind of like what we might soon see with Chauvin because of other technicalities. Though, I mean, there's someone to blame in that one. We know who to blame, but there's obviously someone to blame in the case of this paperwork as well, because either they intentionally did not fill it out correctly or they were too negligent to be aware that they filled out multiple answers in one box. And so I think this is just going to make people angrier because the people that thought they were getting justice are now feeling cheated. And the people that supported the officer, this isn't giving them vindication either. It's just a technical mistake. So he's going right back into the entire process. It's not like they're winning anything in this case. No one's winning. Everyone's just kind of losing when you have a technical issue that throws out the thing like this, because the whole process has to begin again. The same people that are angry now that he's being tried are going to be angry that he's still going to be tried in the future, because that's still going to happen. And the people that don't think he was guilty of murder, obviously they're going to be angry that he got away, at least for now, with the technicality, and he gets 11 or 12 months worth of pay because of it. So both sides, I think, will be angry over this, just like it probably will be if Chauvin gets his case tossed out because of what the juror said. Even if that is what needs to be happen, if there's a problem within the paperwork, if that's what the law says and they have to do it, that's one thing, and they should probably follow that, but it's still going to make people angry. I mean, I think go on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that the only way that, or the only thing this will accomplish, much like if Chauvin's case gets thrown out, is to create more tension, because the fighting we already had before these cases will start up again, because the whole process has begun again. Even though it's 10 months after the incident started, we're still at that same point.
Yeah. I mean, and from my understanding as well, he's going to be getting back pay as well. This Garrett Rolfe. I can't even say that last name. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that last name, but Garrett Rolfe will also get back pay for the times that he didn't get, he was off duty, basically, or when he was quote unquote terminated. He will be getting back pay for those times as well. He's going to be making his money. and chilling whilst going through a trial and all that. So it's, like I said, very a wild story. Like I said, it's not the greatest situation, because I know that there's a lot of people in Atlanta. There's a lot of people that are trying to find justice for Rashard Brooks, that are feeling some type of way about this news. So it's not great news for right now. You know what I mean? It's not great news until they actually get into trial. We're just gonna have to sit back, wait, and see how the city responds to this, how the people respond to this news. Hopefully, people will do this in a peaceful and copacetic manner. But we got to move on to the next story real quick. Now, this is a complete left turn, y'all. Oh, shoot. This is a complete left turn. All right. But I wanted to do this. I was going to do this as a pop-up video, but I was just like, nah, we got to do this, because I know that there's a lot of heavy stuff that we're going to be covering today on the show and whatnot. But I was like, you know what? We got to do this. We got to straight up do this. There is a woman that literally set her house on fire. You got to take a look at this. Hold on. Dang. This thing does not want to be my friend. All right. There we go. Woman sets house on fire. Let's take a look at this. This is ridiculous.
She looks like she's relaxing in a lawn chair with a good book. But authorities say she actually just torched her own home, then sat in the chair to watch it go up in flames.
I'm wondering what she's reading. Like, is that a really good, it's like a Harry Potter book? Is she sketching right now? Is she reading the good book? You know what I'm saying? But she's sitting there chilling in a lawn chair, I'm sorry. Just watching the house go up in flames. Real talk. Look at this.
The shocking video starts with the woman having an argument on her front porch.
Oh my God, he just threw water at her.
Then another argument with another resident. Next thing you know, the house they all live in is on fire. And there's the accused arsonist relaxing in the lawn chair.
She's sitting there just chilling,
She's
watching
straight up
the house go up in flames.
I'm so
The
sorry.
fire quickly consumes the house
Look
in
at that.
Elkton, Maryland.
Get out of the house! It's on fire!
A bystander runs to help a resident as she climbs out a window.
Hurry!
Fire crews rush to the scene.
Look at that. Like that house literally got just engulfed in flames, y'all. Engulfed. That thing went up fast. Hella fast, y'all.
That whole roof
Look at
just
that.
fell.
Avery Hammond shot the video.
I couldn't believe that she was just sitting there like it wasn't happening. She casually went out there, sat in a chair, stated a few obscenities, and watched the fire spread throughout the house.
47-year-old Gail Metwally was taken into custody.
If this is her mugshot, I'm sorry. She is so proud of herself right now. She is the cat that got the cream and just can't stop licking herself. Look at this. She is so proud of herself right now. If this really is the mugshot, I'm done.
She reportedly has mental health issues.
No kidding. You think?
She's sitting there just chilling, watching the house go up in flames.
Man, okay. So, like I said, what the hell is that? Okay? Full on fight that she went out of her way to literally torch the entire house. By the way, with people inside of it, y'all. Inside of it. Can you believe that stuff, David?
That's that's a new level. I don't even know what she's trying to do here. She's just trying to gather the insurance money, or is she just really angry at her house or something?
Man, I'm telling you, that is proof positive right there. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Real talk. Can you believe that stuff, man? Like, who does that and then just sits there and just lets it happen? Like, just sits there, doesn't care who is in that house. Thank God everybody got out of there in one piece. Real talk. Imagine if those people that were the bystanders did not go up there and grab those people. Imagine. Like, this would have been a much more tragic story, you know? But like I said, y'all, I mean, this mental health issue stuff is real. And it's out here. You know what I mean? It's out here, y'all. Who does that? Maybe she wanted to start campfire. Maybe that was her attempt at making a campfire. Maybe she was looking up how to make s'mores. Maybe that's what she was doing. I don't know. It's just crazy.
She's just tired of staying in her house too much or something.
Bruh.
Wanted to get rid of it.
She's like, F this. But I wonder what the fight was about. You know what I'm saying? Why were they arguing? Because the dude, that must have been her boyfriend, husband, or lover, straight up threw a pot of water at her. Like, that's crazy. Right? That's crazy. And that's okay. Somehow we're going to see what she gets, how long she's going to be in jail for. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I imagine it'll be quite a while because those people could have very easily died. And they just they just charged somebody else for a long time that, like the guy that, or woman, I don't remember, might have been a guy or woman, that sealed the police station shut in Minneapolis. They just got him for setting that on fire with people inside. And, I mean, they just charged him. So I'd expect them to do the same to her. I mean, it's attempted murder on top of arson, maybe insurance fraud if they want to go for that. I'm sure they could because, I mean, I'm sure they could just because people want money and she set the house on fire. So that's not usual behavior.
Yeah, no, that's not usual behavior right there. That was what, I don't even know what that was. That's just straight up. I've never seen something like that go to that place. You know what I'm saying? Oh, DOA says, no, Pascal, that was a group home. Interesting. Malia in Australia. Hey, Malia, she said she's going to get food and shelter in jail now. Facts. She just burned one down. Straight up burned one down. And she's going back into another place. Like, she's not homeless, literally. She's got a roof over her head, at least. You know what I mean? Our tax-paying dollars are taking care of her right now. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yep.
That's absolutely nuts.
Hopefully the people who lived there also find somewhere to live for a while because that's a huge problem right now in a lot of places to trying to find somewhere to live during the pandemic. And a lot of people have problems with that.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't end up homeless or that somebody ends up helping them out.
I'm sure I'm sure something's going to happen. I'm sure people are crowdfunding, doing whatever they need to do. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Okay. So we got to go into this next story because unfortunately, David's going to have to jump off here very, very soon. So that's why I'm trying to blaze through these stories real quick. And then after he jumps off, we got a Speak On It segment, which I'm looking forward to because it's a video that I think you guys are going to have a lot to say about. Seriously. So we got that coming up here very shortly. But our next story is 2 Asian women were stabbed in San Francisco. David's got the story. What's the story about this, man?
All right. So this basically happened just 2 days ago on Tuesday in the afternoon. There were 2 Asian women or Asian Americans.
Oh, no.
They were age 84 and age 63.
Do that again. David, could you do that again? You just broke up like crazy. Hello? Man. We lost him again. Gotta love that. His internet is trash. Yo, David.
All right.
Okay. Let's start that all over again. Okay. Because we didn't hear any of that. We just heard an age and Asian. That's all we heard. Okay, so let's do this again. So 2 Asian women were stabbed in San Francisco. David's got the story. Wataguan, bruh.
All right, so the stabbing just happened yesterday evening. The 2 women who were stabbed were 84 and 63. They're currently both in the hospital for multiple stab wounds, but it looks like that they should survive. The police department ended up saying on Wednesday that neither of them are in critical condition at this point. And the San Francisco Police Department ended up looking for the suspect who they've identified as 54-year-old Patrick Thompson. And they arrested him about 2 hours after the stabbing. Before that, they didn't really know who it was. So there's those 2 hours were pretty panicked as they're trying to figure out what happened and locate the individual. Sounds like they may have got some tips onto his location. But investigators from the police station office are saying that they're looking into whether the suspect was motivated by racial bias and that they haven't decided that yet, or if they're going to charge it as a hate crime. One of the people nearby told a local ABC station that she witnessed the incident, and she said that it was a pretty big knife. It had knuckles on the handle, and the blade had holes in it like it was a military knife, she says. And so this has been a problem in the area, obviously. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, that racially motivated crimes are increasing, and this is one of the cases that is being investigated as a hate incident just because of the nearly 4,000 incidences we've already had from last year. It's been a huge increase. I mean, we've talked about a few too, like the hammer attacks and other incidences, and the shootings at the health spas. So this seems like another incident of that case. No one has said exactly what his motive is, but it's kind of being assumed that it is some sort of anti-Asian violence, specifically because of xenophobic rhetoric from the government. So right now, the supervisor of San Francisco, Matt Haney, represents the district where the attack took place, has started a GoFundMe for the 85-year-old victim that was set up by her grandchildren. And he says that basically these attacks need to stop. And Victoria Ang, who was the granddaughter of one of the women who was attacked, the 85-year-old woman who was attacked, says that these Asian hate crimes need to stop. San Francisco is my home and my grandma's home. We need to feel safe where we live and not in constant fear. And I mean, I'm sure most people know this, but San Francisco does have one of the largest Asian and Asian American populations within the U.S. That's where like the famous Chinatown is, for instance. So it's not too surprising that we keep seeing these incidences in San Francisco and New York, but they do seem to be increasing. And as this article points out from NPR, that we've already had 4,000 hate incidences since March 2020, which is almost a 400% increase in attacks or incidences. So they have this guy now. They are claiming that he used hateful rhetoric, possibly racist comments, though they have not released the specific comments yet, or when he will be tried, but his trial will be upcoming soon.
You know, it's funny because didn't we just cover something like this just the other day about a hammer, like an attack with a hammer on the other side of the country? Now we're dealing with another one on the other side of on the complete opposite side of the country.
They seem to be targeting older Asian women too. The last spate of attacks over the past 2 weeks have almost all been, other than I think 1 or 2 cases, Asian women over their 60s, many of them in their 80s even, or late 70s and early 80s. So people are looking for the most vulnerable within the group of Asians. So it is possible it's a hate attack because they're attacking on the people least able to defend themselves in these incidences. I mean, like you said on Monday, or not Monday, I don't remember the exact date, but the incident in New York with the hammer attack was basically one of that. She was screaming racial epithets and hit one of the women in the head with a hammer. This is kind of what we're seeing on the increase ever since we kind of became aware. I mean, this has been a problem that's been growing for a while, but I don't think in general a lot of us became aware of it until the shooting at the Asian health spas and massage parlors. I forget the guy's name who did it. It doesn't really matter what his name was, but ever since then, at least I've become more aware of these Asian attacks, but they have been increasing as well this year in general. It seems like the huge uptick started roughly in January, though it had begun before that as well. It's just that the escalation has been increasing dramatically over the past 4 to 5 months.
You know, it's funny because now the Pioneer just said the stories where Caucasian men are attacking Asians do not seem to be captured on video or at least shown by the media. That also should be investigated. You know, it's interesting because this particular attack, the stabbing that just happened on the two Asian women, I'm sorry, I may have missed that, but was that person, I lost him again. Hopefully he'll be back. Let me see. Are you with me, David? David. I lost him again, guys. Oh, my God. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to honor the death of David's internet. So what I was trying to say is it was the person who stabbed David. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here
Okay, he's back. All right. So the person who stabbed the two women, was he Caucasian or was he white or black?
They haven't stated.
They haven't stated that,
little,
right?
But I couldn't find any images.
Okay. No,
right.
What I wanted to say is that the Pioneer did say something very true. It's just that, you notice that a lot of these attacks you're seeing black on Asian, right? These attacks are mainly black people attacking Asian people. And he was, the Pioneer is making a very good point that we're not seeing these stories of white people attacking Asians by the media. The media is not showing that very often, but there are those types of videos out there for sure. They are out there, but they're not being shown, which is very strange. It's very, very strange. So a lot of times you're seeing a lot of these attacks and they're trying to push this type of agenda, this type of narrative out there into mainstream media, which I find very strange. Now, before there was, I talked about this before, like I think it was CBS News was supposed to do a huge story about the tension between black and Asian communities. But then they scratched all that after there was some attacks that happened in the past, like a few months ago. We just lost him again. There was a few attacks done on Asian people a few months ago, but those attacks were done by Caucasian people. So that particular narrative, that particular story, they decided not to push that story on CBS and CBS News. But that is really a true narrative that they're trying to push, that Asians and blacks are just going after each other. And it's a strange story, but it is very true. It's a very real thing, So we got David back, but I do find it very interesting that that this is, what the Pioneers just said, that they're showing all these stories of Asian men and women of a particular age getting stomped by black people, but you don't see very often the story of white on Asian. It's just interesting. It's just very, very interesting. Actually, that narrative, the narrative I was just telling you about with CBS News, where they were doing a whole story, literally, they had a whole promo out about this woman doing a deep dive on why there's so much racial tension between black and Asian. That same week that news piece, that special was supposed to come out, that's when that shooting happened in Atlanta at the massage parlors. That's literally the same week that was supposed to drop. And what happened? They pulled that story out with the quickness because of that shooting. Now we don't see that story anymore. We don't see that promo. We don't see any of that stuff anymore. They scratched that ish because of the shooting that happened, that mass shooting. Insane, right? The one he was sexually frustrated, right? Because of sexual addiction. Because he was tired of fapping all day. Real talk.
It's definitely a problem. I mean, so the Center for Anti-Asian Hate or a Center for Study of Hate and Extremism ended up saying that the violence against anti-Asians has risen considerably. In 2019, it increased by 50%, and it increased by 122% in 2020, or 150%. Sorry, 150% in 2020. We don't know what the rate will be for this year because the year's not over, but based on the rate of growth, it looks like it's going to be even a bigger increase in percentage than it has been previously. So this is an issue that's been growing for about 3 years. It's still increasing pretty rapidly this year. The FBI is investigating a lot of these crimes. But you know, in the 1990s until about 2017 or so, there were only 7,000 hate crime incidences overall, and 158 of those were against Asian descent. And now we're seeing these attacks upping by several hundred to 1,000 attacks. So across the board, these attacks are increasing, and some of that does have to do with the increase in population and density in these areas. But at the same time, like you said, there is a growing anti-Asian movement within the country, seemingly from all sides. I don't think it even has necessarily a political affiliation, because it seems to come from both parties. And I mean, at least people that support both parties. And I think that this is something that's not going to get better right now, because the discussion has become, in terms of the virus, about how it's tied to Asia now. It's not necessarily about anything that's personally related to the Asian Americans. And this huge attack has increased anyway. I mean, this isn't too unusual. Every time there is a flu or virus from a foreign country, the attacks against those people grow up. We saw that in the Asian flu. In the Spanish flu, and we've seen it with similar other flus that were known to develop in regional areas. That hatred against the groups associated with that area, or at least that look like they're associated with that area, they don't actually have to have anything to do with that country, become targets of these increasing attacks. And I expect this to get worse. Earlier, hate crimes and violent crimes in general have been on the rise, and Asian hate crimes have been on the rise for quite a while. It's kind of been under the table, and no one's really talked about it until the past year, until the shooting. And it's increasing still. I mean, just looking at the numbers, it's increasing rapidly.
It's
that
going,
shooting was basically
a
symptom of this growth.
Right, and it's going up. It keeps going and going and going. It keeps soaring and soaring. I wanted to show you guys a clip that I saw on Instagram that I found kind of fascinating, because there are people out here that are acting a damn fool. It is sad. Long story short, very, very bloody sad. Let me just show you guys this. This is, and honestly, this is somebody who's Asian, which I don't get at all. But take a look at this.
How lame you look! Get the fuck down! Get the fuck down! Whack as fuck! Whack as fuck! Whack as fuck! Fuck you!
Did you hear what she just said?
Wow! Fuck you! Get your ass out of here! Get your ass out of here! Get your fucking ass out of here! I swear to God, I'll beat your fucking ass! Get out of here!
Oh, no, you won't.
Get out of here!
Shay said, "What? What did she say?" She did it. She said exactly what you think she said. Absolutely. And they were saying F China, by the way. F China. And that woman is of Asian descent. You saw her in all her glory. That was in a Costco or a Sam's Club type spot. You know what I'm saying? You always find the most interesting people inside of a Costco. But real talk. People are going out here.
Honestly.
People are going out here, going out of their way to make it abundantly clear how they feel about any of these things. And it's like, just shut up. Sit down somewhere with this mess. Real talk, this is a real thing. David, what are your thoughts on this? I know you got to jump off here soon.
Yeah, I guess it's not really surprising to me, because there is a lot of hate towards Chinese people amongst those other Asian nations. I mean, a lot of these places, like Japan, for instance, have been confrontational and having wars with China for 1,000 years or so. So there's definitely regional, I guess, like nationalism against China or for your own nation. So this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, because there has been a group, or like several other Asian women that have pretty much done similar, speaking out against Chinese and the Chinese government. And some of them are in fact Chinese. They just hate their own government that they ran away from. So that part doesn't surprise me. As far as why races are like falling out the way they are, I had the numbers earlier. I can't find them again, but it was disproportionately higher with Black to Asian crimes. And what we're seeing now is that lately, I don't know, I think some news agencies are trying to kind of block this narrative, because we've been seeing lately, like with the story we just did, someone said that it was a black guy, and what we're seeing now is a lot of articles are trying to not mention that fact to kind of de-escalate the narrative that black people are attacking Asians. But at the same time, you shouldn't misinform people on who's attacking people just because of their race.
Absolutely. No. That's absolutely, I totally agree with what you said, 110%. But I do find it very interesting that, you know, there are other things going on out here where there is violence and attacks on Asian people that aren't being shown in mainstream media that are done by Caucasians. But a lot of these stories are coming out. Like, we don't know the race of the two Asian women that were stabbed in San Francisco. Nor should it even matter, to be honest, because no matter what, it's still violence against two innocent people that didn't do anything except be brought onto this planet a certain race. You know what I'm saying? Being born a certain race should not garner you getting stabbed. You know what I mean? You getting your life, having your life hang at the balance. You know what I mean? That's unfair and that's wrong. But yes, it is a observation that I've noticed, and I saw that in the comments too. It's very, very true. You know what I mean? But Lady Justice said something that I found very funny, or not funny, very interesting. She said, growing up, I had a friend who was adopted from Korea and raised in a white family, and she's so bigoted against Asians, but her parents were not like that. It was ugly behavior. See, I don't know why that there is people who have like no love for their own kind, if that makes any sense. You know, like she's saying F China. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that she's Chinese. I'm not going to sit here and say that, but she is of Asian descent. She is Asian. You know what I'm saying? She should love all of her Asian brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? With everything, every fiber of her being. But she clearly does not identify herself as an Asian American. She may not. You know what I'm saying? But that is crazy. And then her throwing out the N-word at the person. You know what I'm saying? It's just a terrible, terrible look. And it's terrible. But like I said, it's never a dull moment going into a Costco. Real talk. Never a dull moment going into a Costco or Walmart. You know for a fact you're going to find something very interesting every single time you walk into one of those things, for sure. But real quick, I know David has to jump off here. So, David, thank you so much for being on, my brother.
Yeah, man. Got a lot to talk about.
Unless you have time to stick around for one more.
No, I got to be heading out.
Oh, well, sorry. Then forget you then. Bye.
Goodbye.
Much love, man. Peace.
See you later, man.
See you. Oh my God. Okay, so we have a speak on it segment that I want to show you guys because this is something that I found very interesting, and I think it's something that we can all watch, and I think it's going to be something that we need to talk about this. I'm just going to say it like that. We need to talk about this. Okay? And again, David, thank you so much for being on today, man. I appreciate you. You know, you my boy. You my boy, Blue. So that's my dog, man. That's my ride or die, bruh. You know what I mean? That's my dude, David. Anyway, okay. There is a video that's been shared around quite a bit on TikTok. Now it's making its way on YouTube. It is something that is, the people are sharing this quite a bit. Okay. And it's a story that I felt like we needed, or a video that I felt like we needed to open up and have a conversation about. Okay. And this is going to be for our speak on it today. Yes, you guys get to call in and talk with me, which is very exciting. You know what I'm saying? I feel it down in my plums, how excited I am. Anyway, I don't know why I talked about my plums, but anyway. here it is. There is a very emotional video of a cop basically, what's the word? Pouring his heart out, talking about his frustrations for being, his frustrations of being a cop. Okay? And we got to take a look at this video. I think it's important that we take a look at this video. Okay? Because, you know, I'm going to say this. A lot of times on this show, we have a lot of videos where we're seeing cops involved in shootings. We have, you know, people getting killed, etc., etc. But we never really get to see the other side of the world. We never really get to see the other side of a cop. And this particular video, we need to take a look at. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that feel some type of way about anytime you talk about a cop, or if you side with a cop, or if you feel some type of way about, you know, a cop and all that. People get what's the word? People get really frustrated. People get really upset when you start going, oh, I feel for this guy, right? Now, this is something that we need to look at. And then I want to open up the conversation and hear your thoughts on this particular video. Let's take a look at this thing, y'all.
I'm tired. I am so goddamn tired. I wake up every morning and kiss my family goodbye, knowing that there's a possibility I won't come home. I am tired of every time I wake up in the morning, there's someone else polarizing the fact that maybe law enforcement is just not a good thing. All of us are not bad. I am not as they are. Most of us are not. There are bad people in every career. I'm so goddamn tired. Tired. I give everything.
Okay. Now that you've seen it, all right, Major Dingle, Kelvin Dingle, is obviously a cop, a police officer, and he wanted to get his point across, and I think his point was made, I mean. So a Georgia police officer has gone viral on TikTok with an impassioned speech about the anti-police rhetoric and has insisted there are bad people in every career. Major Kelvin Dingle is his name, Operation Commander at the Morehouse School of Medicine Department of Public Safety in Atlanta, Georgia, begins his video by saying he is tired. And of course, you just heard it. He says, I wake up every morning and kiss my family goodbye, knowing that there's a possibility I will not come home. All right. He says that in the clip, and he repeats, this song that's playing is called Repeat Until Death. Right. Of course, very, very emotional video. He obviously is very upset, and and I understand what he's trying to say. I understand his frustration that he's putting out there. Now, apparently, this video has gone viral. So he apparently went on Fox and Friends Tuesday morning. Not surprised that he went on Fox and Friends, saying that he created the video because he had enough of the negative portrayals of those working in law enforcement. He says, I was riding home and I was thinking in regards to everything. And now it's just different. I'm driving next to people and people are just frowning at me. People are purposely doing things to get my attention. They're flipping me off, Dingle said. Dingle added he believes attitudes about law enforcement have changed in the recent years due to a number of high-profile incidents involving police brutality. Notable incidents include the deaths of Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky, and George Floyd. All of us are not bad. All of us are not bad at all, he said. So he was a Marine He's a former Marine. He believes most cops are good-hearted people that want to make a difference. He continues saying, my heart was broken because of all the things that I saw in just traveling home to my family. It wasn't always that way. It used to be waves. It used to be smiles. It used to be someone saluting you. So, of course, this video has gone and has hit millions of views, etc., etc., etc. So, let me just, I'm going to say this. I understand his frustration, okay? And yes, I get that there are bad apples in every career, right? There are bad doctors out there. There are bad lawyers out there. There are crooked cops out there. There are bad teachers. Like I just did 2 videos yesterday about teachers. I mean, bruh, those stories, those pop-up videos are insane. Go check them out when you get a second. Those stories are insane too. You know what I mean? We got bad nurses out there. We got there's bad people everywhere for sure. But this is the only thing I'm going to say. And I get his frustration. I get it with every fiber of my being. Trust me, I'm tired of it too. I want the world to be better. I want cops to go to things and not shoot people down, shooting them 17 times in the back. You know what I'm saying? I want a world where cops can be waved at and can get the thumbs up instead of the middle finger, and a high five and a hug. You see what I'm saying? I want those things just as much as anybody else. But here's the thing, though. You got a situation. You have a responsibility too, Major Dingle. You have a responsibility, which is if there are bad apples in your force, you literally get them out. You expose them and you get those bad apples out. If you know that there are some bad cops out there that you've worked, that you've had their 6 and they're doing bad things, then hey, do us a favor and expose their asses so that they can get terminated so they don't ever wear the shield ever again. Period. I understand his frustration. I'm with him. I hate that stuff. I hate that as a kid, I'm looking up to a cop and being like, I want to be a cop one day. But then as you get older, you start realizing, wow, I don't want to be a cop. Oh my God. That is not the life that you want to have. You want to be able to look at cops with love and respect and honor instead of looking at them like they have a guillotine, like they're Judge Dredd. But he has a responsibility too. And I'm sure he does everything that he can to be the best cop that he can be. But if you know that there are bad apples in your force, you have a responsibility to smoke them out. You have a responsibility to smoke them out. So I want to pull up the phone. I want to open up the phone lines. Okay. Most definitely give me a call. 314-766-4581. I want to hear your thoughts on this story or on this video. What are your thoughts on this video? You know what I mean? Do you rock with what he's saying? Do you feel his pain? Or do you feel like, nah, I'm not feeling his pain at all? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I feel it. I feel his pain. But he also has a responsibility. He has a responsibility. Not just being a good cop on his own time when he's ready. He's also not only setting an example, but he also has a responsibility to get those guys out of the force. Just like if there's a bad teacher or a bad doctor, I would expect those teachers or doctors to get exposed so that they can get terminated and be out for good. Give me a call, 314-766-4581. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is a lady calling from California.
Hey, lady. How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy now that I hear your voice. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Okay. I am 1,000% in agreement with you. We do, and like Lady Justice and everybody else that's saying, we do need to overhaul this system. We have been doing some research, and the police department started off as slave catchers. They have been overhauled several times to, reinventing themselves several times, and it's time for another reinvention. Now, I just had been having some major conversations with our beloved strategic about this, and I think he's coming around, but you have good cops like that. They don't want to rock the boat, and it just seems like an overwhelming process. And the last conversation, I guess one of his last rants on video, he was saying it would take generations and generations and generations to change. It won't take generations to change. It can change
right
next
now
week if you decide to do it. Okay?
Exactly.
If they fired every single cop and hired a whole new force, it would change. So I'm not buying that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. Oh, no. Don't leave yet. Don't leave me yet. Hey, lady, please don't leave. Baby, please. So here it is. I completely agree with what you're saying right here. The problem is that if people are sitting here saying, oh, it'll take forever for anything to happen, that is just laziness talking. I'm sorry for saying that, but this is how I feel about it. If we want to make things change, if we want a change to happen, we have to get together and make the change happen. We can't just be complacent and just sit there and go, oh, this is how it is. You know what I mean? No. You use that opportunity. You use the responsibilities and the resources that you have to do something about it. Go ahead, lady, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
What you said about turning in bad cops, that could change everything in a week too.
Yep.
If you're riding next to a bad cop, you see a cop doing something wrong, turn him in. They don't do that because it's breaking their bro code.
Oh yeah.
I'm sick of it. The cops are like other bad cops.
I agree. I mean, the thing is it's not like a bro code. It's like a blue code. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's like a shield code that they are worried about. They're worried about. What's the word? They're worried about breaking. You see what I'm saying? That code.
Some of them are afraid.
Oh, absolutely.
They get retribution. They get retaliation.
Oh yeah.
We've had several cases of that in California, in Los Angeles, in their sheriff's department. They have actual gangs with tattoos, and they fight each other like they're street. Like they're not cops, like they're street gangs. And if someone tries to turn in a bad cop, they could be murdered. Their family can be, assaulted or harmed, and they know it. So it is really hard. It has to start at the top. That is where it has to start. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is like, and I'm with you on this, lady. It has to start from it's got to trickle down. It's got to start from the top, and it's got to go all the way down. All the way down to the cadets. You know what I mean? I don't know what the names of it, of the rankings and everything inside the police force is, but you get what I'm saying. I think that we live
beat cops.
Yeah, beat cops. There we go. I think that at the end of it, it is something that if you have this ability and that there are dirty cops out there, and them personally, I get it. It could be really tough to this person had my 6 during this time, or he saved my life during this, that, and the other. You're constantly being put at towing the line of life and death, and you're always with each other, helping each other out. And it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to expose this dude. I'm not going to rat this guy out. He's had my back so many times. He saved my life. But at the same time, if you just keep letting that happen, then there's going to be more. This is going to continue going on and on and on forever and ever and ever. And it's just, it's getting old. So then when I see somebody like a cop, like what we just saw with Major Kelvin Dingle, when he sits there and he's going, I'm so tired. It's like, well, we get that you're tired. We tired too. You know what I'm saying? So if you tired, do something about it. Because we're on the other side right now, or there's a lot of people on the other side that are trying to sit here and say, defund. You know what I'm saying? They're actively doing something about it. They're actively out there protesting. They're actively trying to take money out of your pocket, Officer Major Kelvin Dingle. You see what I'm saying? So if that is something that you want to maintain, like the monies, then do something on the inside. You know, so that
right.
the argument or the protest of defunding could maybe go away, because then it's like, oh well, they're actually taking care of things on the inside. Never mind, guys. We don't want to defund anything. We good. You see what I'm saying? If they see that there's actual work being done from the inside, I feel like there wouldn't be these protests, or there wouldn't be all these people going like, we must defund. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Get with the program.
Get with
Take
the program.
the lead.
Please. Please and thank you. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Absolutely. They need to be 100% monitored. I mean, you've got, okay, yes, there are bad people in every profession,
Facts.
but you don't have every profession running around here with a gun.
Facts.
They need to be 100% monitored, just like, unlike you've ever seen before. It can happen, and we need to have cameras in every cop car. We need to record their conversations. I mean, if you work in corporate America, they've got cameras all over the place. If you work in a factory somewhere, they've got cameras all over the place. These guys are deadly. They are carrying weapons.
Right.
If anybody needs to be monitored, it's them. Okay, I got to go to work.
All right. Hey, lady. Thank you so much for the phone call. Bye. You know, it's I appreciated that phone call. I mean, it's true. You know what I mean? Like it starts from the inside. So if he's tired, like I said, if he's tired of this, then he needs to be active and do something about it. Not go on Fox and Friends and try to get all up in the videos and whatnot. He needs to go inside his own department and do the damn job. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Pascal, it's Jazzy.
Hey, Jazzy. How you doing, sweetheart? What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Pretty good. Miss seeing you in your sexy shirt today.
Thank you. Next time, I promise. I promise next time. But what's on your mind? Speak on it.
I'm going to make this quick, hopefully. But I just wanted to say that, you still there?
Yes,
okay,
I'm here.
Okay. I just wanted to say that, I think that, like, I listen to a lot of Bo the Fifth, too. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Who?
He and I, go back a ways. Like, he's on that same list I'm on. Some white supremacists don't like us because we talk about true stuff. Anyway, he was saying some things about some different changes we could make in how things are done in policing that might really help. Because, it does seem like the cops nowadays are just going for their gun first thing, and he said one thing, because he used to train police. He's been in the military and stuff, and cops have come to him and asked him stuff, and anyway, he's like, here's what he thinks needs to be done, because, he's way against all this stuff, too, so he's like, start putting on their holster or their gun, put a little alarm system rigged in there so that every time one of them wants to go for their gun first thing, it puts an automatic call into all the emergency services, is documented right away, and a whole bunch of people will show up on the scene, and press is going to know about it. Make sure they have to have body cams, but that way, if they have to wear their body cams and have them turned on, and it's going to make them a lot less likely to go for their gun first thing. When they know that automatically, boom, some alarms will go off and everybody's going to know they went for their gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before they even have it. So I think that's one good thing. And the last caller had a good point, too. Get them out of there, fire them, and start over. But until we implement some new protocols like that as well and hold them to account, we got to incorporate both things. And I feel bad. I do feel bad for the good cops that are out there. I know they exist. But you can't feel but so bad for them if they're not standing up against the bad ones, which I understand because I've heard cops, seen cops break down and cry because they are literally afraid. there's truth to this, and I know this, Pascal. I've done my research. There are really real gangs within some of these, bigger gangs involved. Right. You can't just call it the good old boys code anymore, because it's not just that simple. So some of them, it's not just about being ostracized. It's about being ostracized to the point you'll never work again, and being in fear of their own and their family's safety.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad. So I do think the federal government needs to do what they're finally only just beginning to do in this as well. Because there needs to be a major cleanup going on here. Major cleanup.
Absolutely. I think that there needs to be, a full-on deep dive into every single department, and they have got to I feel like people just need to start pointing fingers, start ratting people out and just be done with it. Real talk. And get real and not be trust. Right, and not be worried about retaliation or that be worried about their family, fear for their lives, and etc. I feel like that's something that is really sad, and I think we need to start getting beyond that for sure. But we're not going to do that until they make the first move. They have to make the first move to be able to do that, and that has to happen internally. But Jazzy, thank you so much for the phone call. I really do appreciate it, sweetheart.
I want to say one more thing.
Oh, shoot.
It notice that I do notice a big difference over the years in the attitudes of the police that I have dealt with. Because I can remember a time when you could have an interaction with a cop. You could call them for help, for instance, with a matter, and they would actually be friendly to you. Mm-hmm. Really soft-spoken and friendly and patient with you. And then nowadays, even if you're not the person that committed a crime and you're calling for help, they are rude, they are curt, they cut you off, they tell you about how they ain't got time and they're in a hurry and make it snappy and all this stuff. And that's not being a servant of the people. And I think a lot of people are dealing with that sort of thing. Like, there's just too much bullying going on across the board. Yeah. That bullying attitude, and people are sick of that. So they need to get it cleaned out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the phone call. All right.
Thank
Jazzy,
you, Pascal. Keep rocking it.
Thank you, sweetheart. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Unfortunately, I got to wrap up the show, unfortunately, guys, but she ain't wrong. Jazzy ain't wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this particular situation, with this particular story. They have got to find a way to make the first step, which is cleaning and gutting out their people, and if they're so tired of the world being so bad or so mad at them, they need to do something internally. They need to figure out what they need to do to make things better. And it's not a TikTok or a lip sync battle type of BS doing 24 karat magic with a whole bunch of dudes and doing a flash mob. That's not going to make people feel comfortable about cops no more. That's not it. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be another way of solving this issue and getting things better inside the police department. That's what I personally think. I've been saying there's got to be reform. I don't agree with defund. I agree with reform. You see what I'm saying? Reforming is a reapproach, stepping back from the picture and taking a good look at what the police department and what they represent and what it looks like, and going back in there and fixing the issues, so that a cop like Major Dingle doesn't sit there getting all sad and angry and wants to do a TikTok video saying that kind of thing. Like I said, instead of going all up onto Fox and Friends being praised for doing a viral TikTok video, go to your department, start cleaning that ish out. That would be a step in the right direction, in my personal opinion. That's just what I think about it. But anyway, guys, I really do appreciate all y'all for being on today. You guys are all amazing. All you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for the phone calls. I do appreciate that. I wish I could go a little bit longer, but unfortunately I cannot. I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be on the lookout for that. And I will also let you know I am going to be doing a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show Friday, tomorrow night as well. I got a very special show going on tomorrow as well. So you guys definitely want to tune in to that Friday night show. We're going to be taking phone calls, etc. It's going to be a great one. But I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be on the lookout for that, okay? It's time to get going, guys. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button if you've just first time checking out this show. I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and a Tuesday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show. So be on the lookout for the evening show as well. And if you haven't done it, hit that join button. That would be really appreciated. $4.99 helps me keep giving you guys your stories of the day. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving.